So I'm giving you specifics now. So I'm giving you a curriculum for leadership training for yourself and for those that you want to train them. The next role is change. And to do change, we need organizational change. So you must study organizational change. And I gave you the past exercise, the 30 questions, remember? That gave you the major theory of organizational change. So you took an exercise on that. But there are other exercises. I have about 7 exercises on organizational change. So remind me, Azman, I'll pass them to you. And the other one is creativity. And you need to study creativity. Are you writing your training plan, So you need a course or more on organizational change. You need a devoted course, strong course on creativity. And I've done, alhamdulillah, 5 books on creativity and 13 assessments. And this is some of the latest things I have done. So again, inshallah, we'll work on translating them and having them available for you. But again, try to take courses on this, whether in the university or training courses, etc. Right. The next one is motivation. Of course, on motivation, there are several courses that you need. So let's write down a course on loyalty. How do you create loyalty in your followers and your employees? And the other one is situational leadership. Why? What is the relationship between situational leadership and motivation? If you know situational leadership, by the way, there are more than 50 major, there are hundreds, but there are 50 major theories of leadership. The University of Arizona did a study and comparison, and they found that the best theory among them all is situational leadership. So again, there is a full system. I've written a system on situational leadership as an assessment, as an exercise. There are books, but the books don't teach you that really. What I found was very strange, because I did the exercise. At the end, we'll give you evaluation. You're poor, okay, good, excellent, outstanding. 90% and more of those who took the exercise, the results was poor. And the rest was okay. No one was even good. And the reason is that people don't know how to do situational leadership. So after I give them the exercise, I teach them how to do it. And if they do it again, they will get 100% because it's a system. You know it, you can answer it. And we need only half an hour to teach you, by the way. So it's amazing, huh? You can learn so quickly. So if you have a chance to learn situational leadership in the university or anywhere else, fine, add it to your list. If not, then inshallah we'll translate the exercise and pass it to you. But I'm giving you specific systems now. But on loyalty, I have written a book called Khumasiyatul Wala, the 5 elements of loyalty. It's not translated, so we might work on that. But, so now you know that my books were planned to cover. See, I wrote all of this, and then I planned to write the books. So if there are good books, good systems, then I don't write it. But if there is nothing, then I devote my time and write it, because that's what I want to do. I want to prepare the leaders of the future, and these are the criteria that we need to cover. So somebody has to do it. So I did not wait for anyone. So I covered most of them. Then, what happened here? We have a movie, but it's okay. Training. To do effective training, you need to learn two things. You need to learn how to do personality profiles. And you need to learn creative training. Because most of the training, the normal training, is not effective. When you do creative training, then it's effective. So we will do two things here. First of all, the creative training, I have written a book called Creative Training and Teaching. Again, it's in Arabic. So we'll work on that. So I have a goal that all of this will be translated. So I started working on my Islamic books. So alhamdulillah, we contracted one translation company, and we have done, the contract covers 24 books. But they don't cover my management books. Because it's very difficult to translate management books. These people are not specialized in management, so they will do lousy translation. So I'm looking to do that, inshallah. The other thing is personality profiles. So brothers, come and help me, please. And I will pass to you this one. Give me a copy, please. Okay. So we will do this now quickly. Now you will know, inshallah, when we do this quick exercise, you will be able to analyze people. And you remember I told you I can do it in half an hour? I will teach you how. But not in half an hour. Because you need an expert to do it in half an hour. But I teach you how to do it through this exercise. Right. So I will wait until everyone gets the exercise, and then we will do it.
While waiting to is this from your opinion of evaluating all the plenty in the market on?
Yeah, I will mention that. No, it's not the best.
This is what we use.
Sorry. Listen, brothers and sisters, before you start. What you need to do is read the introduction and then answer the questions by putting grades between 0 and 5. Listen, please. Only 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No more. If this is a must, then you give it a 5. If you refuse it, then you give it a 0. Brothers and sisters, don't give 2.5. Okay, there's no halves. You have to use all numbers. Wait. Don't stop. Then after you finish, you have on page 4, after you finish the 44 criteria, then you have the form where you have the number of the questions in columns. Please take note that we move horizontally. So number 1, and then number 2 is next to it, not under it. So you take your grades and put it here. Don't do this step by step. Don't answer a question and put it in the form. You have to finish all the questions first and then put it in the form. And then when you're done, add these columns. If you give me your result, what is your grade on D, what is your grade on I, S, and C, I can analyze you with 91% precision. I can tell you what kind of leader you are, what do you fit with, how do you deal with people, what is the best way to deal with you, what kind of team fits you, what are the jobs that are suitable for you, what are the jobs that are not suitable for you, only from these 4 numbers. And I'll show you how. But to know how to profile people, let's start by profiling yourself. So please answer, read the introduction and do the questions. Everyone please, even if you're not done. Now I will comment, please write on this page some of these comments. Now you will learn how to do personality profiles. This form that you have, this exercise that you have, is the simple form. I have written the more detailed form. I will tell you about it, inshallah, when we are done. So my advice is now to teach it quickly, we use the simple form. To apply it fully, we need the detailed form. So let's look at the page, and you write with me. You notice that we have divided people into criteria. Those on the right, their care, their focus is on people, as you see, huh? You see people. So those who are on the right, their focus is on relationships, right? So this is people. Those who are on the left, they are task-oriented. Not relations, but they want to finish the job. Okay, so that's a major criteria. The other major criteria is up and down. Those on the top are fast, assertive. So whenever they take over any work, they do fast changes. And they are very strong about it. So we will go into the details later. But those who are in the bottom, they are more measured, gradual. They take it step by step. They don't move fast. So they believe that change should be done gradually. Those on the top, they believe that change must be done quickly. Accordingly, we have 4 kinds of people. The dominant kind, are they fast or gradual? Fast. Task-oriented or people-oriented? Task. So we can say easily that the dominant are fast and task-oriented. Influential people are fast and people-oriented. Are you following?
Yes, yes.
Steady people are people-oriented and gradual. Cautious people, task-oriented and gradual. So simple, very simple division. So they gave them the name of dominant, influential, steady, and cautious. By the way, this is the old names, because I use it to teach it quickly. Now it has been changed. So if you take the first letter of these 4 words, D-I-S-C, you get this. So this has nothing to do with the computer disk or your back pain. It is related to the kinds of people, personality types. So now let's write details on each one of them. The dominant, if you want to write some notes under it, around it, or in another page, it's up to you. The dominant people, since they are fast, they do the following things. First of all, they have powerful personalities. They like to give orders. Do this, don't do that. They do not care about relations. If they smile, their intention is to make you work harder. not a real smile. Dominant people, they finish work. They finish whatever you give them. And they force people to do it. Dominant people like to get the credit themselves. I have done it. They don't say we, they say I. They always criticize those who led before them. So they will say, your work was lousy until I came. They don't necessarily say it this way, but that's the general theme that they work around. They like to be in pictures. So if there is an event, they want to be in the picture alone. Me. So self-centered, self-ego. Dominant people, when they criticize, they do it directly and harshly. Because again, they don't care about emotions or relations. They care about the job. They are outstanding in managing short-term projects. So if you have a project that must be finished in 3-6 months, this is your guy. They will finish it for you. Again, if you have a project 3-6 months, then you don't care really about long-term relations. Huh? So you need to finish the job. Dominant people are the best to do that. Okay. Let's go to influential people. These are people who are also fast, but they care a lot about relations. They are the most loved among all personalities and most charismatic. Excellent public speakers. And when they talk personally, they're so nice. They don't like to give orders. Instead of saying, do this, do that, they will say, I need this to be done. Who would like to help me? Yeah, so they do their work through others. And people will do it for them because they love them. In the Gulf, they will say, they do it for their eyes. I mean, they do it willingly. They're just to please them. People love them. Influential people like theories. They talk about theories a lot. And they like creativity a lot. Influential people don't pay attention to details. And they love to delegate. So they do a lot of work, but they make people do it for them. And they are so good about it. Because they are loved. They are outstanding on long-term leadership. Short-term, they don't manage well because they care a lot about relations. If somebody comes and says, can you please excuse me, my kid has just got out of school early, they will say yes. Dominant people, they say no. Nothing will happen if you are late. Let him play in the school. So it's a big difference in personality. Okay, steady people. Steady people, again, relations, but they are gradual. So they spend a lot of time talking to others, building relations with others. They are also loved. not as much as the influential people, but they are loved. Public speaking skills, medium. Not like the influential people. They don't make mistakes that hurt others. They are so careful about this. But they don't like to work on details. But whenever there is a relationship, they are so detailed. I mean, where do we put the flowers? How do we arrange the seating? They are so careful because this is relations. But if you give them, say, a budget to check the numbers, oh, they cannot do it. These people are excellent, outstanding in sales, in marketing, public relations. These are the fields that they will excel. And they do their work, they finish their work, but it takes time, gradually. Last kind is the cautious kind. Cautious was, by the way, it was the wrong term, frankly. Because cautious will give the implication that they are cautious. They are not cautious. The new term that they are using is better. If you want to cross it and use the new term, it is better. And that is conscious. Conscious. Yeah, conscious. Or conscientious, which is the exact term. So let's describe them. These are people who are very careful not to make any mistake. So they check and check and check several times anything they do. They are reserved. They don't make relations. They like to work alone. And even in a closed office, they don't care about the relationship. Doesn't mean they are not nice, but that is not their area, that is not their passion. They have relations with few people, while the S has relations with hundreds of people. Cautious people are outstanding in anything that needs details. So, for example, you want to audit a budget. They are outstanding in that. If you want to make sure that you have all the systems ready, or check a computer program, etc., they are outstanding. Very cautious not to make any mistakes, very conscious. These are people who, whatever they do, takes time. Then they take a long time to do their work, but with no mistakes. Influential people, when they do their work, full of mistakes. They're fast, they don't care. While the opposite is the cautious people. No mistakes. Check and check again, etc. So this is in general the 4 types. Now, before I continue, let's have a test. Suppose I want to start a new company, and I am setting the criteria for different positions. I need your help. Suppose that I want in the financial department 4 accountants and their chief accountant. So you help me. What is the best kind for a chief accountant?
Cautious.
What is the chief accountant? So chief accountant must lead and must make sure that the budgets are ready and on time, etc. So the dominant is more preferable for the chief accountant. But there is a kind that we have not mentioned, and that is DC. Someone here. So they have a high grade in D and a high grade in C. So this is another kind. So now we are going to the detailed kinds. There are more kinds, more profiles. So there is a profile called DC, which is middle ground between the dominant and cautious. Now a question about DC. Is that person task-oriented or people-oriented? Task-oriented, clearly. Is that person fast or slow?
In the middle.
DC.
In the middle.
Medium. It's medium. It's not really fast. It's not really gradual. It's in between. So again, this is the best kind for a chief accountant. Or D. Right. Now you understood the formula. How about the 4 accountants? What kind? All of them cautious?
All of them.
All of them cautious. So you'll have 4 with no relations with each other and no relations with anyone else. So who will deal with the other departments or with customers?
Chief.
Chief is dominant. So the best kind here is maybe have 3 that are C, cautious, and 1 that is CS. So he's an accountant, but with some relation skills, because there is a kind called CS. So you need at least 1 of them to make relations with other departments, with the customers, etc. Another department that I would like to start is the public relations department. And I need 4 employees and the head of department of public relations. So now help me. The head of the public relations department, which kind? DI? Public relations. Either I or IS. IS, huh? Not S. So this is a leader. So the more leadership positions, the higher we must go, above the line. If we need employees, workers, then we go below the line. So either I or IS. Like how about the 4 public relations employees?
Yes.
All of them S?
Yes.
Yalla, help me, quickly.
All of them.
No! Remember what we did with the accounting? 3S, 1 IS, CS. 1 CS. So that they will take care about the details and prepare maybe the budget, etc. Otherwise, you will have no one to do that for you. So, let's write down that the most important use for DISC, why do we profile people? The most important role or usage of this method is employment. So, when we have a position empty, let's set what do we need, and then whoever comes and applies, let's test them. So if I need an accountant and I see somebody with an I personality, wallahi, believe me, they will not do the work. See, one characteristics for I, they don't sit on a chair. They move around. While C doesn't mind sitting the whole time on the chair and doing it. So this is the best usage. So now all the major companies do that. What do? Whenever they have vacancies, they announce. Probably hundreds will apply. So instead of wasting our time, let them do. And by the way, this is available online. So you can test hundreds of people. And you're looking for a C personality, so you eliminate the other personalities. And then you interview those who have a C personality. And you save a lot of time and effort. So that is the #1 usage of, it is not graphology. Well, what is your personality? I know my personality. But it is used, and now intensively used in employment. Okay, let's go on, continue. Suppose in our company, the new company, I would like to form the board of directors. I need 5 people in the board of directors. What is your suggestion? Let's test you. See, now you understand the disc. How about if all of them are D? What will happen? That's a war, huh? See, everyone wants to be a leader, and nobody cares about feelings. So what will you have? A war. Like, how about if all of them are I? Isn't that good?
They will love the stuff.
What is wrong with that formulation? All of them are I. Nobody will do the detailed job. Nobody will follow the detailed job. Not only that, they will spend a lot of time in theories and ideas. So execution will have a problem. So how about if all of them are S? What will happen if all of them are S? So there's a lot of relations, but no jumps, no creativity, no major changes, and no details. Good relations, but no details and no jumps in your work. So how about if all of them are C?
Finish. They will micromanage.
Micromanagement, details, no relations, no big creativities or jumps. So now you understand. So now help me. What kind of people do I need in my board of directors? What is the best combination? How about one of each?
Yes.
Why not? Why not one of each?
It depends.
Looks nice, huh?
It depends on the state of the company.
Yeah, everything depends on. But we're talking in general now. This is the board of directors. They don't need to do any details. They need to follow the details, but they don't need to do any details. Not in the relations, not in the work. So there is no need for C or S. So we look for people at the top here. So how about 3D, 2I?
1D. 1D, 2D, 1D, 1D, 3I.
There is a 5th kind, which is in the middle here. This person in the middle, if you look at your 4 grades, you'll see the numbers very close. The difference between the highest number and the lowest number is 5. If you have the highest, the difference between the highest and the lowest, less than 5 points, 5 points or less, then you are in the middle, which is called the facilitator. This kind in the middle fits anywhere. They can do anything. They can be in the board, they can be in detail, they can be in relations, they can build relations between top management and lower management, but they are not very fast. They are medium fast. So, H is good to have as middle managers, and it's okay to have them in the board. So suppose suppose we have 3 H or F, and 1 D and 1 I. It's good. Anything above the line is good. But remember that the D is not one kind. There are levels of D. So there is a very high D and there is low D. So suppose I have somebody, now if you are high in D, you will be here. If you're medium in D, you will be here. So suppose I have somebody medium in D and somebody I, then definitely the I will lead. Last question. How about if I have one person who is very high on I, and I have one person very high on D? Who should be the leader on top of the other? I or D?
D. D.
If your work is short term, then you put D. If this is a permanent board, then you put I. Why? D doesn't care about the feelings of I, while I cares about the feelings of D. So I can manage D, but D cannot manage I. So now you understand the formula. Now the detailed formula is that how many personalities we talked about already? 1, 2, 3, 4, in the middle 5, and D, C, huh? C, S, and then I, S, and then of course we have D, I. So these are 9. And then you have some details. In my new version, this is my version of updating this, we have 39 different personalities. So answering, not this form, but 28 questions will give me exactly what kind of the 39 personalities. The beautiful thing now, alhamdulillah, yani, our development of this school, we did it with their permission. We Arabized it, we improved it, and we detailed it. So each person will get 12 pages of personality analysis for each. Alhamdulillah, now several companies have dropped their personality profiles that they use, the American ones or European ones, and they are using ours. Among them is Saudi Airlines, Kuwait Petroleum Company, Olympic Committee of Qatar, Qatar Foundation, and others. Wallah, it's strange. This is usually 91%. What we're getting from our customers' feedback is 100% precision in personality. So this really works. Now please write a note. Don't use it in the social life. It has nothing to do with the personality of your husband or your wife. What if you are a D? What is the best wife for you? I don't know. This is not my area. Don't use it in that context. It was not done for that. Because I've seen people doing that. No, it has nothing to do with that. But can we do it with children? Yes, 16 years and above, we can do that. So we can analyze their personality. I gave you the quick form. So now let's do something. So I don't want only to teach you. I want to make you have the skill. So take a piece of paper, please, and write the names of 5 people. Before you write the names, these are the conditions. These are people that you know very, very well. Whether in work, or friends, or home, you can use You can put your husband or your son on the condition, two conditions. You know these people very, very well. The second condition is that they are 16 years old or above. 16. 1-6. So please write the names. You don't have to write the full name. You can put letters, A-S, whatever, so that you will cover the criminals. Okay, so write the names of 5 people quickly, please. Any names? Write the name of a friend, your father, your teacher, your colleague, your mentor, your boss. Write the names of any 5. Brother, but somebody that you know really well, and 16 and above. Quickly, please, quickly. طيب, بارك الله فيكم. If you wrote 4 or 3, it's okay. Now look at this page and write next to each one of them their personality type. And you can use 1 letter or 2 letters. You can say D or DS, or I'm sorry, DC, etc. So you know the system now, and you know the description of each. So quickly write what type of people are these. That's the ones that you just wrote. Enough. If you are not finished, you can do it later. So you know now how to profile people. So in this short time, you got the skill. Now the question is, do I need to pass this test to people, make them answer, to analyze their personality? No. Unless I don't know them at all. People applying to my company, then I give them the test. But if people I know, then I can analyze and profile them. And according to this profile that you just written, make sure that they are in the right job. Right? So one day when we did this in one of our companies, one of the brothers, mashallah, very good brother, he was put in a job that fits the C. But he was an S, a strong S. So we moved him to the public relations department. 3 years he became the head of the public relations. So again, we use it not only to profile people, but we use it to manage people. So this is this. You like it, huh? Use it. It's effective. Use the skill. My advice to you, if you want really to acquire the skill, try to profile 30 people within 1 month. It's fresh in your mind. Try to do it on 30 people. In 1 month, you will acquire the skill. It becomes a habit for you. Yes?
So, in your opinion, doctor, what's the personality of our beloved Prophet?
Okay. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Where? D, strong D. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. I. Not really I. Abu Bakr is ID, but not in the middle. It's closer here. So that's why we have 39. DI, exactly, D equals I, we call it. The grade for D is equal to the grade of I. But there are ones that are DI but closer here, which means that, yes, they are high on ID, but I is a little higher than D. Abu Bakr was this guy. Not I, but ID, not in the middle. Like Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu. He's a leader, huh? Don't forget, he's a major leader. His eye, strong eye. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. D equals I, he's in the middle here. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also D equals I. D equals I are the best leaders because they are strong, they're fast, they're creative, they balance relations with work, and they are leaders, not workers. So D equals I is the highest resource that you will have. So if you have a DI, then you make them D leader, above D and above I. So that's your question.
You mentioned in your lecture yesterday that MBTI is published.
Yes.
And it puts people into the 16 boxes.
Yeah, but it's not based on research. There's no research behind
This
it.
is based on research.
This was published after measuring 340,000 people. So now it's more than 600,000.
What about your comment?
So 91% plus minus.
What about your comment that some people say that you cannot put people into boxes of personalities?
You can't.
Okay.
You cannot.
Because there's more to it.
So it is flexible. So yes, they are in this area, but again, humans are not only 5 personalities or 16 or even 39. There are hundreds, but it is closer to this. So that's why it's not exact.
Can you train from one personality?
Ah, nice question. Can we change a personality profile?
Yes.
Now before that, can I act? See, I am an I. Can I act to be a D?
Yes.
Pretend. And say for 2-3 days I become a D. Can we do it?
Temporarily.
Temporarily, 2-3 days. You can't? Okay, the answer is really, this was studied in a PhD study in Arizona. PhD study on this question. Can they change their personalities? On this, no? I mean, this is really studied. The answer, if you want to write it, is as follows. I can easily perform any other personality. Then S. Then C. D cannot. I mean, if D tries to be funny, it doesn't work. It is proven, huh? I have the numbers to prove it. D cannot. Others can. The easiest one to act short term. They cannot do it long term. As I mentioned, I is the highest on doing it. D cannot. So that is a question. Now another question. Can I be at work a certain personality and at home another personality? Like for example, I am dominant at home, at work, and then when I go home, I'm dominated.
Sounds very familiar in our country.
Of course, that happens. Yes. So people change their personality sometimes according to the environment around them. But enough on this because I have other things. But again, if we want to go into the details and how to use it, practice on it, this is a full seminar.
One last question from me.
Yes.
There is another profiling which is they claim in the West. This is called in the West. They got Profiles International.
Okay. Yes.
And this is
Write down,
hundreds
please.
of psychologists.
Write down. This is not the only system of profiling people. There are other systems that are good. The names of the other systems that are good, first of all, DISC is one. Thomas. Thomas is really DISC, but British version. And it's good. Thomas is good. Profile is another excellent system. Profile, it is called Profile. Profile International.
American?
Yeah, American. Another one is DDI. See, I mentioned DDI. DDI, they have a nice system of profiling people. One of the latest and the best, proven to be the best, but it has not picked up yet. It's called Caliber. Caliber. And it is the only profiling system that not only profile people, but profile people and measures their performance according to their profile. So it links performance, which is very important for companies. So Caliber, it was done by an Indian brother. This was his PhD dissertation in Arizona. His last name is Ali. So, but again, I saw the system, I went into what it was not used. If you want a new system that you want to spread, take the agency for it, then look for Caliber. Really outstanding. Right, enough. Again, I can spend days and days on this. So, if I want to train people, then I have to profile them. Because, again, if they are D, I cannot train them to be I. So I have to profile people, know what position they need or fit, and then, according to the roles they will play, I will train them. Remember, huh? You decide on the roles and then the competencies. So before training people, let's profile them, put them in the right position, decide what roles they will play, and then we decide the training of these people. So this is, if you are in human resources or career management, then that's what you should do. And this will bring talent management and succession planning into the picture. Okay. Enough on that.